Good morning. It is about 5 to 6 in the morning and I'm at a place called Box Beach this morning. First time here. Beautiful looking colours already starting to appear on the horizon. So just trying to work out where I'm going to shoot my composition from. It's quite a low tide, which is nice because you get this beautiful smooth sand and of course the rocks will be nicely exposed at the end of the beach. So that's where I'm heading. As usual, no one else down here. Got the whole place to myself, which is just beautiful. Just need to try and find a nice composition now. So gonna head across to the rocks at the end of the beach and see if I can find something that is inspiring. I'll come back to you shortly. Alright, well the colours have started to come out and got Mount Tomaree up here. You can see that beautiful peak there, that's Mount Tomaree. Beautiful beach here. It's quite low tide, so I'm actually where I am. I don't think is always very accessible, so I'm actually pretty happy that I've been able to get this spot. And I've got this beautiful sort of leading line in front of me where the water runs into, and it's going to allow me to draw your eye into the scene. I've got the water rushing in there. We've got beautiful colour coming up in the sky. So I'm going to get set up here. It's a little bit slippery, so I'm going to do my best to make this work. And I do need to be careful because I think the tide might be on the way in. So I just need to double check that. So I don't want to get trapped here where I am because I had to sort of cross some water as the waves rolled out to get to this spot. And of course, the biggest risk is that when I finish my shoot is I've got to be able to get out of here. So I want to make sure that I can do that. Anyway, let's get set up. I'll then talk you through my composition, what my settings are, and let's get Box Beach in the bag. I think it's going to be a nice sunrise, so looking forward to it. All right, I've got my composition sort of sorted out, I think. It's still a bit dark. I know the camera doesn't show that here, but there's still not a lot of light here, so it makes it difficult sometimes to compose your shot. One of the tricks I find is you just open your aperture right up and it allows you to sort of see what your composition looks like on live view, because of course live view, it lightens everything up very nice and bright, and it actually looks really good. So I'm really happy with that actually. Just going to make sure it's level, which it isn't. I just use the electronic level in the back of on the camera. So I'm just going to shoot F13, there we go, it's giving me 5 seconds at ISO 64, and I'm at -2 exposure value because the sunlight on the horizon is so bright that will blow out pretty quickly. So I just like to check afterwards. My RGB highlights, there's a small bit still blowing out right on the horizon. So I've got two choices. I can put a graduated filter in, which I might do, and just tuck it in over the corner. I think I'll do that. Or I can continue to wind down the exposure value a bit. So I'll go to -2.3 and just see what happens, but I will get that graduated filter out and just put it across the corner, and that should just help to settle down those highlights. I'm just waiting for the water to do the right thing because I want it to fill up this little area in front of me because it's just going to look beautiful. Absolutely beautiful leading line, leading your eye out towards the Mount Tomaree headland. Just waiting for that to happen. Just waiting for the right waves, you know. There we go, that one's got a bit of a rush about it. And it'll just create that nice movement in the shot. I might just raise it up a bit, get a bit more of that sky. It's funny, the sky is going to go off, but it's not super interesting. So when that's the case, I like to just fill everything with a stack of foreground. All right, so I'll let that do its thing whilst I get my filters out. Very slippery on these rocks, so just being careful I don't move around too fast. That would end in a bit of disaster. I would definitely slide off of this. Just gonna put my filter holder on so that's ready to go. Well, that's a nice bit of water in there. Perfect. Yeah, what a morning, eh? The sunrise is still about 15 minutes away, so we might get some more spectacular colour yet. But I think what I'll do is get this other filter out, this graduated filter, so I can at least be ready. It's always good to be prepared for anything. So I'm just going to put this around the tripod. Oops. That way I've got my filters there ready to go. Oop. These bags are quite good, these little Lee filter holder bags. Quite enjoy using them, makes it easy. All right. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with the exposure, pretty happy with the composition at this point. I think what I need to do now is just get the light sorted, and so this is a real critical moment for any, if you think photography is all about light. I can see that at minus 2.3 exposure value, I'm not getting any flashing highlights. If I look at my histogram, though, I think I might be losing a little bit in the shadows. So I've got a couple of choices. One is to bracket some images. So I've got some better exposure on the rocks, which I can definitely do, but it's going to make it quite long exposure. So at normal exposure value, that's coming up at 13 seconds. Wow, what a great composition. Really happy with this. So I think what I'll do is find a nice soft graduated, that's a 0.9, we'll stick that in there, and I'm just going to run it in from the corner just so it can settle down the highlights on that sky. And then I'm going to go back down now to -1 and just see what that does. Oh, beautiful. This water is really starting to rush around me though, so I'm a bit concerned I might be getting stranded, but it's all in the name of getting the shot. Oh, wow. Wow, that is just gorgeous. All right, really, really happy now. I think that's done the trick, putting that in. So sometimes it is just a little bit of light control, you know, like just making sure. And that's why filters are still relevant in my mind, because they give you that little bit of control that you need. So now I've got that, I just need to make sure I'm definitely all in focus. And that's the other thing I love about this D850. You can just zoom in and check, and we're definitely in focus. There's still some blown highlights. I'm just going to go down to -1.3 and just, now it's just a matter of keep on shooting and just enjoying the morning. All right, how about I talk you through the composition, because I think you'll love what I've done here. Absolutely cool. Let me just, oh, I've got to snap that one. That's a good one. Sorry, just had to get that as the waves crashed in there. Oh, somebody down here. I could see a flash. I'd say it's someone taking a photo with their phone of the sunrise, as they have got their flash on. Wow, this is just a beautiful morning. Anyway, let me talk you through my composition. So I'll just turn the camera around. So here's the beach here. You can sort of see that up there is Mount Tomaree. That's the peak. This here is what my foreground has in it, and it's sort of a leading line all the way up to there. So if I just come across here a bit without slipping over, you can sort of see the camera's there, but that's sort of my composition like that. And it's pretty hard to see the colours at the moment because it's sort of blowing out on this camera, but you can see that that's the composition. I'll just show you a preview of one of the images on the back of the camera. That's always probably a good way to do it. But there you go. So you can see that's the composition there. And that's been shot at f11 16mm, so zoomed in slightly, -1.3 and ISO 64, so there you go. So that's what I'm shooting at, and it's just a matter of waiting for the water to come in at the right level, and of course waiting for the colour over there on the horizon to do its thing. So I'm just going to snap a heap of shots with this composition now. I'm going to try going to portrait, but I really do prefer the landscape orientation, to be completely honest with you. But have a look at where I am. I'm standing up on this rock. There's water all around me, so I'm slowly getting trapped. Look, it's everywhere. I could maybe go over there somewhere. I don't know if I could get through there, but how gorgeous is this spot? It's just an amazing spot, isn't it? So anyway, I'm going to keep shooting. I really do think that I've got a limited amount of time before this water traps me, so I better hurry up. Wow, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Water's rushing in, colour's starting to come to life. It is about 10 minutes before sunrise. I'm just going to flip the camera onto portrait orientation. Just need to change my filter around a bit to get that in the right spots. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. And I'm going to try that for a bit and just see how that goes. One of those things where sometimes, you know, just changing the orientation. I'm not a big fan of portrait, to be honest with you. It does work sometimes. I think here it does. But what that's done is means I'm missing out on all the colour over on the right hand side now, because it sort of obviously crops it in. But we'll do a few on the portrait orientation just because I think it's definitely worthy. Oh yeah, that's nice. I think I'll just zoom out a bit more. That leading line to that water, that little chasm in front of me, whatever you want to call it, where the water's flowing in and out of, is just absolutely a sensational leading line, and a great example of, you know, when you find good foreground, what you need. The moon is still shining bright. What a beautiful spot. I'm so lucky that this is all, like, this is 10 minutes from my house. Just so lucky. Wowee. All right. So I'm going to change my composition yet again. Just zoom right in. Oh. So yeah, so I'm just zooming right in, really putting the focus on that foreground now. And yeah, it's looking great. All right, here it is. Sunrise is arriving. The colours are just gorgeous. It is, yeah, 3 minutes away from sunrise. The clouds are really starting to colour up. It is what I call go time. So I'm just going to raise it up just a bit more because I want to get those beautiful, beautiful clouds in my shots. Make sure it's level and just, there we go. Oh, wow. Very, very blown highlights on the right hand side though, but gorgeous, gorgeous composition. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Let's just make sure we're getting that water. I might just move back a tad so I get more of this foreground rocks in, but I haven't got much room in that case. Oh wow, okay. Now we're really cooking with gas. Just very blown highlights though, where the sun's coming up. That's to be expected, I guess. But we're managing that really, really well. Let's just... Oh yes, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, now I'm just waiting for the water to get to the right spot. Here we go. Wow, good morning, absolutely good morning, beautiful morning. Well, I got to say, that was a pretty spectacular sunrise. The sun is well and truly up now and it's hard to get a shot without it blowing out my highlights. But anyway, absolutely beautiful spot for sunrise photography, there's no doubt about that. One of the most gorgeous things, and I'll just show you before we wrap this video up, is this, all this green moss on these rocks here. Look at it, look at the sun bouncing off of that green moss there. Just gorgeous, isn't it? Absolutely beautiful. And so, you know, they're the sort of things that I love in my foreground, absolutely. So, super happy this morning. I wasn't planning a shoot, to be honest with you. I woke up early and looked at the clock and thought, you know what, I'm just going to go. I had all my gear ready. So by having the gear ready meant that I could just get up, get dressed and go. So, you know, if you ever want a tip, probably a good tip for those of you that struggle to get up early for sunrise, if you wake up early and your gear's ready, then you can just go. So make sure you've got your gear packed before you go to bed, even if you don't get up early enough to use it, because wow, What a beautiful morning. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed the video and you found it interesting and helpful. There's always a few tips in my videos, I guess. And I'm really grateful for you tuning in each week when I post these videos. And yeah, a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one. Until then, get out and take some photos. See ya.